Hi, everybody. I want to say thank you for understanding that this trip to England is a big deal for me. And when I sent the email the other day, I know some of you maybe not have seen it yet, but I explain in there why it's important for me to take this trip and what it is doing for me for my grief and how I'm trying to heal certain parts of myself. So, first, I want to start off by saying that for a lot of people ask about grief coaches or therapists or counselors or just people who should be fully healed before they help somebody else. And I always laugh at that idea because for me, I think the truth is that we often draw into our work what we've learned. And because of deep wounds and things that have happened, I myself have spent, I can't even tell you how many years, how many hours just kind of learning and growing not because I want to be whole or perfect. I've accepted the fact that I am who I am today. Am I whole? No. Will I ever be? Probably not, because life always kind of ebbs and flows and brings things to us that can break us. And put air quotes at break us because I don't think that we're ever really broken. We're not really broken. But it does sometimes chip away pieces of us and we grow other pieces. When we say whole, I always picture a circle, completely round, perfect. But really, for me, my belief, what life is like, it's not a round connected circle. We're not whole. We have little divots, we have chunks missing, we have pieces growing on top of other pieces. We're more like this weird shaped rock. And that's okay. That's who we are. We are going to do an activity at some point where we kind of draw our whole selves. So I'll leave that with you, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So today I just wanted to take you through a quick guided meditation to get us kind of set. And then I'm going to take us on a little bit of a learning exploration. And then there's a couple of activities I'd like you to do and post about in the community part of the webpage. So today we're going to focus on planting seeds of resilience. Resilience, I think, is a big thing, something that we really need to focus on because we're never going to be able to put on a suit of armor and think of ourselves as impenetrable. I did this healing and now nothing can touch me. It's bullshit. We need to be resilient so that when we do get knocked back down or things just keep happening, we can pick ourselves back up. Sometimes for me, it feels like something happens and I get knocked down. And I just think in my head, well, that was bad, but I'm going to get back up. But then something else happens. And it's like the ocean, it's just like pummeling me. And I feel my feelings. I often feel frustrated and sad. But the thing is, I have my toolbox. So each time I can pick myself up, take that breath of air, let whatever's happening, and come back for that breath of air again. Okay? So, why don't we get started? So, today's webinar, which I titled The Foundations of Healing, we're going to look at grounding and emotional tools. So, I want to talk through some practical, functional techniques that can support with your healing. And it doesn't matter if you're healing from grief or trauma, emotional overwhelm, illness, things that have happened in the past. We need a strong foundation so that when times get hard, we can grow. I want you to think of it like growing a tree. If the roots aren't deep and they're not like on steady ground, the tree can struggle to survive and struggle to kind of remain upwards. But the thing is, even if your tree kind of starts to bend and fall over, it still will grow. And it's kind of unique that way, right? So we'll focus on two key elements, which is grounding and emotional tools. So I'm going to talk for a little bit and then we'll do our grounding exercise, okay? So why is grounding essential? So grounding is about reconnecting with the present moment or getting our heads in a space that connects to the present moment. So when we do our grounding exercises in this group, yes, I take you to your cabin or somewhere that is safe and warm and what you want it to be, but it's to bring yourself into this moment so we can add elements of what's actually happening and you can kind of deal with it in a safe place. So when we're overwhelmed by emotions or memories or minds, we get pulled into the past or we get pulled into the future. And it's like reliving pain or worrying about what's coming next. And that's not going to help. Anxiety lives in the future. Depression lives in the past. We want to be in the present moment, right here, right now, and ground us back down into our bodies so that we can feel steady and feel the earth beneath us. So, grounding is really helpful if you feel anxious or restless, if you're overwhelmed by grief or sadness, sickness, or any other feelings, and when you just feel disconnected from your body or your surroundings. We're going to touch later, probably in a couple weeks, on disconnecting and disassociating, because I don't think it's always a bad thing. But more often than not, we need to stay grounded. And when we ground ourselves, we create a sense of safety. And when we're safe, our breathing returns to normal and we're able to think and make appropriate decisions. It's like anchoring a boat in a storm. When we ground, the waves can be as rough as you need them to be, but you can just kind of ride the waves. So, we're going to let's talk first about a couple techniques that you can use. So, there's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, which is explained in various different ways if you go on the internet. But the way I do it is I want you to identify and name 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that is safe to taste. Don't just go licking things. So this practice pulls your attention back to the present moment and engages your senses. And don't worry about necessarily writing all this down. You're going to get a little bit of a handout that explains all this in the coming days so that you can practice these methods. Put your feet on the ground. I often sit like this, knees bent, feet on the floor or on the chair, cross-legged, whatever. But when I need to ground and I need to just get my mind from spinning out of control, I put my feet flat on the floor and I imagine roots growing out from my feet into the earth and anchoring me, making me feel steady, connected, and just one with the earth. And it's like as soon as I do that and I picture the roots entering the ground and me no longer waving with my thoughts, I can think a little bit more clear. So this is simple, but it's really powerful, to be honest. And the third thing I want you to do is think about breath awareness. When you get anxious, you start talking like this, you go really fast and you start thinking about everything, but you're not actually thinking about anything because you're not actually taking any air in. And so you can't think and you just start spiraling and you say things that you don't mean to say. Oh, it's a lot. Just me saying that one sentence and not allowing the air get to my brain, I forgot what I was even talking about. But if I can slow down, take a real deep breath, a real breath. Inhale for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, exhale for the count of 4, and pause for the count of 4. That it not only grounds you, but it calms your nervous system so you can think and speak appropriately, which is really amazing. All right. Shifting now to understanding our emotions. So when you're healing or dealing with a tough situation, emotions can feel overwhelming, like waves that are just crashing over us over and over again, like I said earlier. But our emotions aren't actually the enemy. Emotions are good. They're like little messages that tell us what we need, where we need more attention, and what we should be doing. So instead of hating our emotions or trying to shove them all down, we need to feel and process them, not avoid and suppress them. So when we avoid emotions, it makes them louder because there's like a little bell. It's like ting, ting, hey, warning, ting, ting, something's going on. You're running low on energy. You're needing some water. There's a emotion here that needs to be processed. And as you shove it down or put a cup over that bell so it can't ring anymore, it rings a little louder. So it's like ding, ding. And eventually that cup is going to get blown off and you're just spiraling out of control because you didn't look at that bell in the beginning. So some emotional tools that you can use for healing. Name it to tame it. I love the idea of naming what I'm feeling. So sometimes I'm mad and I'm angry and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I go off. But when I really look at it, I'm not mad at all. I'm actually sad or I'm hurt or I'm offended. And I have to name these emotions so that my brain can then process them, reduce the intensity, and I can handle whatever's coming at me. But if I don't even know what I'm feeling or what emotion is coming up, then how do you handle it? Journaling your feelings. So journaling your feelings is another way to write about what you're feeling without any judgment. No judgment. write it down, look at what's going on, but do not judge yourself because journaling creates space for your emotions to exist and helps you make sense of them over time. It's not like you're just going to write in your journal and then all of a sudden all the answers are there. You're healed. No, it doesn't work like that. It takes time. So when visualization is another thing that can really help, picture your emotions like waves in the ocean. They come up, they hit their point, and then they fall again. So knowing the ocean actually lasts forever. It's like the waves. If you're angry, imagine yourself getting to that peak, and then we let it go again. If you're sad, yes, you're sad, but you're going to get to a peak, and then we can process the emotion and we can come out of it. Happiness has a peak, all of it. So picture the waves. And the final thing I want to say is self-compassion statements. I want you to speak kindly to yourself. Say things to yourself that you would say to your daughter, your son, your mom, your best friend, somebody that you care about. Too often, our inner critic takes away space, takes away the words that we actually need. And then all we hear is that voice that is negative for us. I want us to get to a point where you parent yourself. I didn't have the parenting that I wish I had had. I didn't have the parenting that I'm trying to deliver to my daughter and my soon-to-be son. But what I can do is I can parent myself. So as soon as I start to get negative, oh, look at that, Kim, you fucked it up again. You went and broke it. That voice in my head kicks in. Kim, calm down, Like you made a mistake. Why don't we work together to find out how to make this a little bit better for you? Why don't we look and try to figure out what options do you have? Kim, you are a good person at heart. You work hard for other people. You want people to have resilience. You want people to have love. Why don't you want that for yourself? And having that voice just talking to me in my head, right now, I feel a little emotional because of those questions that just bubbled up out of me. But it's like a mom giving me a warm hug and helping me to see the right way or one of the right ways to get through it, a way of compassion and love. So let's put all this together. We are building a foundation right now. We are starting, I don't care where you are in your journaling journey, we are starting here together. Healing is a process and it is not a race. I don't want you to race through this from here to here. And that's not because I want to be with you, supporting you longer. I do want to know you guys longer, but that's not the reason. It's because each small step that you take strengthens your foundation and brings you closer to a sense of balance and resilience. But if you leap over steps, there's cracks in the foundation. You have to take the proper steps to get where you need to be. And how many steps is that? Nobody knows. It's to do with you. You are the only person that can decide that, okay? So here are some activities I'd like you to try, but first we're going to do a quick grounding activity. So get comfortable. Feel your back against the wall, against the chair. If you're laying down, feel the soft, maybe bed or couch underneath you, and breathe. Breathe all the way down into your stomach and feel the oxygen traveling through your veins. You are standing at the edge of your forest. It's a beautiful forest. Just up ahead, you can hear the trees moving. You can hear animals. You can hear the wind, maybe some water in the distance. I want you to slowly take a breath and step your foot over the foundation, right over the line into the forest. As your foot hits the ground, you realize you're barefoot and you can feel a jolt of energy, the forest welcoming you into its presence. I want you to take some time and walk through this forest and take note of what's there that holds it together. How is this a forest? Maybe notice the cracks in the ground, the strength of the huge trees, the vines wrapped around the trees, the animals connected to the vines and to bushes. Everything has its place. Take a minute right now to just walk around and just explore this space. and take note of what you see or hear. In the distance, you notice your cabin or your cottage that we talked about last week or last time we were together. Today, we're not going there. We're just walking around the forest, seeing the foundations that your cabin was built on, the resilience in nature that is tied to your cabin or your cottage. Spend as much time here as you need and press pause if you'd like to just venture into your forest and take in all that's around you. Pause now if that's something that you need to do. It's time to leave the forest. You walk back to the edge of into the opening. And before you step over that imaginary line, you take a few deep breaths and try to hold on as much as you can to all the magic you just witnessed. Whenever you're ready, you step back over and into the waking world. Start to move your neck, your shoulders, and when you're ready, you open your eyes. How was that for you? Feel free to send me messages and let me know. So today, the activities I'd like you to try. So grounding practices, and these are inspired by nature. So in times of stress, grief, in times of stress or grief or uncertainty, we feel like we're being overwhelmed and being swept away by a storm. Resilience is the ability to adapt, recover, or grow from these life challenges, but it requires, like I've been saying, a really steady foundation. And steady is individual to each of us. One of the most accessible ways to kind of cultivate this resilience is through grounding. And this, like I said before, is a practice of really reconnecting to the present moment and feeling rooted in ourselves. Nature is an amazing way, has amazing ways of showing us this. So here are some, 6 practices that I want you to try throughout the next 2 weeks. So we meet again in 2 weeks. I encourage you to try these. The first one is standing like a tree and rooting yourself in the present. So trees teach us the importance of staying grounded, no matter how fierce winds are, what may be blowing at us. The roots actually stretch pretty deep into the earth. And I've heard that if you look at the size of a tree's, I would say its head, but I guess trees don't have heads, but its branches and its leaves, triple underneath, triple that size underground, and that's as wide as its roots actually go. So what you're going to do is find a quiet outdoor space and imagine yourself in a tree. If you can't imagine yourself or you can't find the outdoor space, just sit or stand by your desk. Stand tall with your feet firmly planted on the ground and your shoulder width apart. Close your eyes and visualize your roots growing from the soles of your feet, reaching down into the earth. Picture it passing the rocks, the clay, the worms, all the different pieces that are in the ground. And I want you to feel the stability of being connected to something larger than yourself. Imagine your roots tangled with the next roots, tangled with the next roots. Take slow, deep breaths. And as you inhale, imagine drawing strength and nourishment from the earth through your roots. As you exhale, release the tension and the worry back into the soil. And repeat this for a few minutes. The deeper your roots are, the more capable you are of bending without breaking. Like a tree, you can remain calm and then use your values and inner strength even during difficult times. I want you to try walking barefoot. This is number 2. When reconnecting with the earth. By walking barefoot, also known as earthing, it's a simple yet powerful it's a simple yet powerful way to ground yourself. The direct connection of your skin on the earth's surface can help calm your nervous system, reduce stress, and just make those happy thoughts, those happy feelings spread through your mind. So find a patch of grass, sand, or soil where you can safely walk barefoot. And as you walk, I want you to slowly pay attention to the sensations under your feet. Maybe it's cool, or maybe it's warm, the texture of the earth. Focus on this kind of connection between your body and the ground, and let your mind just settle into the present moment. The earth reminds us that we're not separate from it. We're not just living on it. We're part of a larger whole. And by reconnecting with the ground, we remember that the stability and support are always there, even when life feels unsteady. The last one I'm going to give to you today is breathing with the wind. Find some calm. The wind reminds us that movement is natural and it's necessary. Rather than resisting it, we can flow with it, like almost like a kite in the sky. You can find a sense of calm riding the winds. So what I want you to do is go outside on a breezy day and imagine the sensation of the wind if you're indoors. Close your eyes and match your breath to the rhythm of the wind. Inhale as the wind swirls around you, and exhale slowly, letting it carry away the tension or the worry. And if you feel comfortable, spread your arms and almost imagine yourself as part of the wind and feel the different pressure points that it hits and how it makes you feel. So, those are only about four of the activities that I'm going to have you do. I'll send the next ones in a couple days so that you have a little bit of time to experiment with them and then go into the next set. What I would also love you to do is journal. And here's your journal question. Don't worry about writing it down. I'm going to send this all out in written form to you. But what does resilience mean to you? And how have you experienced it in your life? Go deep, go beyond the surface. So I want to leave you with this. Whoops, not my phone. Healing isn't about fixing yourself. Healing is about learning to hold space for yourself. We are who we are in this moment. You don't need to fix. There's no fixing because you are already amazing just the way that you are. It's about finding the steadiness in the storm and meeting yourself with compassion, no matter where you are in this process. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope the tools I've kind of given you today start to form that foundation, but also are things you can put into your toolbox. I hope they give you a sense of grounding and empowerment as you continue on with me. And if you have any questions or you want to share your experience, as always, reach out to me. I would love to hear from you. I want you to take care. I want you to know that you're loved. And I want you to most of all know that you are not alone in this. I'm here for you. Send me a message if you need me. Bye for now.